Hi everyone, and welcome to Data with Decision. If you want to learn about data analysis using Microsoft Excel and Power BI, this particular YouTube channel will definitely teach you all that. In today's video, we're going to be creating this very report right in here, 100% free. So before we go on, take a look at this very worksheet right in here. Have the data downloaded and actually open it and read through what we have in the business scenario. After that, come to the management question and see why it matters. So I would like you to actually close it, pause this video and try it all by yourself. If you feel like you know Microsoft Excel, then let's see what you can do without using AI. You understand? So we want to train the human brain to make sure it actually gets something as beautiful as this done. It's very important. So we have to look at the data we're going to use, which is this very data right in here is what we're going to be working with 100%. So it's clean. We don't need to actually do anything to actually have it transformed and cleaned. So this is going to be the final result that you and I are going to build together right in this particular class. So all you have to do right now is to please subscribe to this particular channel and make sure you actually tell me thank you in the comments and tell me which particular video you would like to watch next, Power BI or Microsoft Excel. Let us get into the class. Here comes the data we're going to use. You must actually understand the data. So just take your time to go through the data and understand it and understand all the columns and rows that is contained. Then we're going to come over here and take a look at what is here. Those are the things that we're going to actually, the insight we have to bring out of the data, which is the management, question, very importantly. So if you look at it right now, I have pre-built the dashboard, even for you. If you have the one you have downloaded opened right now, you can see you have this very dashboard, a blank dashboard or a semi-blank dashboard like this. So we need to actually calculate the employees, which is the total employees, then the ones that left, the attrition, and the average tenure, which is very easy. So we can actually use, pivot table and functions and formula to have this done. So are you ready now? Let's get into it. If you look at the screen, we have our KPIs right in here. So the bolded one are the main KPI that you will find in the dashboard environment right in here. So on this particular ones here, this one I just converted to italic. They're just supporting KPI and they are very important to give us more insight about how many employees we have and how many employees actually left and all of that. So what we can do right now to actually have all of those KPIs here built is to go over to our data here. So we might be having new data. To make sure we actually get new data in here and update our dashboard quickly, Ctrl T will actually help us to convert this to a table. You understand? So which means you have to convert this to a table. So you can actually do that by going over to insert and you click on this to convert to a table. But right now it's actually on table. Okay, once you've done that, just go over to this particular part here where it says insert and click on pivot table. Then let us use the existing worksheet. Then we go over to analysis. I'm going to paste this one over here. Then click on OK. We have just created our first pivot table right in here. And what we need to do right now is to drag any column of our choice into the value area. So this is how it works. This one here is the row. The row is actually the vertical part of it. So anything that goes, let me just do this illustration. Any data that is going down like this is actually your rows. Then this particular part here is actually the column area. That is data you sent across the column like this. So while this one defines the filter that you filter your whole table, then this one has to do with the value that will actually come into here, which is numbers. Okay, enough of that. I'm going to drag my employee ID into here right now. Automatically, it defaults this into count. So let's see if I go over here now. So we have count, we have average. There are several calculations that we have in here. So count is okay. So maybe your question now will be like, why do we have count? Let's get back in here and go ahead and check employee IDs. So the employee IDs we have right in here is a combination of text and number. So whenever you have text and number together, Excel treats it as text. You understand? So for that, if you push text into the values area, it will actually convert to actually this for you. So automatically, I'm going to reference this because we have just created the this thing. But wait a minute, this is wrong. We don't have to just do that right now because we need to actually create other KPIs from this particular one. So what do we do and how do we get that done? So we're going to look for attrition. So let's check for attrition, then drag attrition into this particular part. Can you see what we have right now? So here we have our attrition right in here. Okay, now we look for tenure. So the tenure in year, we drag it over here. It's giving you some, don't bother about that. So the next thing we have to drag in here right now is going to be month. Let's search for month income. So the month income here, we drag it into this particular part. So both of them are giving us, the sum now. We don't want to have it on sum, we want to have them on average. So we select the average from here. Then we'll do the same thing to this particular one. We choose the average from here. Okay. If we are cool with what we have, we might want to actually keep this particular part here clean. So first of all, if you look at it right now, if anybody comes in here, nobody can tell what no and yes is all about. So for that, we have to make sure we clean it up. Go to the top ribbon and click over here, design, and let's go over to this particular layout. Then you select this particular show in tabular form. So with that, we have attrition over here. I don't want to have the count over here. What do? I just do Control H and I just type in count of and I replace all and I do this. So this might not still make sense. I'll just do here employees. Can you see it now? So those averages, I want to take all the averages off. So I'm going to just do here, we select this particular part, we do average of, and I replace all. Okay, do you know, this does not make any sense because if we don't put the average right in there, nobody can tell what is this. So I'm so sorry for that. We can control. So we just want to leave the average. So quickly right now, we are almost done with the KPI. So if I reference this now, I can reference the grand total here as my total employees. How many employees actually left? So it's actually 70. So it's 74 that left. So reference that. So employee that left is 74. Then the next one we want to get in now is the active employees. So we just do active employees here. It's this. Now is the attrition rate right in here. And how do we do that? Is very easy. Is to put our equals right in here and just pick this particular number here where it says yes and divide that by the total employees that we actually have. And that will give us this. When we just do Control 1, we can quickly come over here and convert this into a percentage. So we just want decimal number. So here we have gotten our attrition. The next we have to calculate right now is the attrition rate right in here. And how do we do that? Is very easy. Is to put our equals right in here and just pick this particular number here where it says yes and divide that by the total employees that we actually have. And that will give us this. When we just do Control 1, we can quickly come over here and convert this into a percentage. So we just want decimal number. So here we have gotten our attrition. So the main one we have to work on right now is the average tenure right in here. And the average tenure is this particular one right here, which is 4.1014. So it's actually going to be in year. What we can do right now, if I just reference this right now, it's going to give me the same exact number. But I don't want this. I just want to actually have it in year. So what I can do is to actually use a text function. The text function will actually help me to format it the way I like. Click on this one and put a comma on it. Inside double quotes, put 0.0, then do close and hit enter key. So you have this, and you need to actually add year to it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. This is gonna make it much more better, because if you just show this on your dashboard, it does not make any sense. So we can come over here now and just do here years. Can you see? Oh, sorry, my bad. I should have closed. Before this, I should have actually added an ampersand here. So we add years. So here we go. We have something like this. Okay, guys, our main KPIs are ready. So for those ones that I've not created, don't worry. We're going to create them very soon because it's a little bit complex and we have to actually create more analysis before we do that. So let us go ahead and actually fix it up to this particular part. So right now you can copy any of those from here and bring it all the way down, resize it like this. Let's also open up the formula bar. If it is closed, check it. Then put a comma here, and let's go over to analysis. We pick this up. So once we have gotten this here, we just need to actually increase and have the weight to around, let's do 32. So here we go, we have this. So we have to make sure this one is sitting closer to the icon that we have right in here. So what I love to do is just to make sure I select a particular color that is not as dark as this. So this one looks perfectly okay. So once I've gotten this right, I can copy this for every other part of it. So can you see it now? Just take your time to actually make sure they sit rightly at the right spot. So right now, how many of them left? We just have to go back here. We pick up this number. Attrition rate right now. We come over here. Attrition rate is this one. Then average tenure right in here. That was our last calculation, which is this very one. You see this now? So I'm going to come over here and double click on this, apply, apply, and apply this. So here you go, you have this. So what I'm going to do now is just to make sure I bring Control 1 up, click over the text option, go over here, and you can change the color to match. So over here, I'm going to choose a color that matches this color here. So on this one, I'm going to change the color to something like this. Okay, let me use a more brighter one. Okay, now we have this. So guys, our first KPI, 100% is ready. Now we are going to focus on this particular part right in here where it says attrition rate by job satisfaction. And the question from here is actually this particular part here. So over here in number 6, is saying, does job satisfaction relate to job attrition, like related to attrition? That is the question, and we're going to create it right in here. So how do we go about that? The very first thing you have to do is to make sure you understand the data you're going to use. So first of all, you have to understand that over here you have job satisfaction. Let me bring something up. So in case you don't know what I've done, come over here and you can see this is how you receive the data. So go over to data here and click on filter. Then this will be activated for you. Then you can actually take a look at this. So we have 1 to 5. These are the satisfaction numbers we have. So the numbers here wouldn't make any sense. I'm thinking of something. Should we add a new column here, or we shouldn't, make the data much more bigger? Let us not add a new column. Instead, let's get back to analysis. So right now we're going to copy all of this from here. So this time around we have to go away from there. Then let's just be here and paste this one we have just copied. So if you have been following up my tutorial before now, I always love to do this to make sure I actually, organize my pivot table in a way I can actually track it easily. Oh, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you're still watching, just hit the like button right now. Just go ahead and do that. Hit the like button and just type in thank you in the comment section to make sure this particular video goes far. All right, now that we are here, the very first thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and bring in the show field list. Then once I've done that, I'm going to take off this very one, take off attrition, and bring in job satisfaction. Now, because it is number, if you look at it over here, it is actually a number. Automatically, when you click on number, it actually brings it to the value area, so you can control it and put it where you want to have it. This is what we have. This time around, we don't need to actually show the grand total, so I'm going to actually turn off the grand total quickly. So click over here, go over here, and you can choose to use the first one. Okay, once I've gotten this here right now, what I want to have right now is going to be the attrition. So we need the attrition right in it. So I think we have an attrition here. Where could it be? Okay, over here. The attrition as well across the column. Can you see now? So here we have the attrition. So what I'm going to do now with the attrition here, I'm thinking of something. I want to turn on this thing I just turned off. Yeah. So you might decide to just turn this off. If you don't want the bottom one, remove it. So we are left with this particular one right now. So the ones we're going to use are this particular one. As for this one, we don't need to use it. I can actually color it in red just to show that we're not using it, right? Okay, our main focus is on this particular two right in here. So what I'm going to do right now is to come over here and before then, let's just type in here. Then with my equal sign, I'm thinking I'm going to do here score space, and I'll do ampersand here. I'll reference this number and I hit my enter. So we're putting them score. So can you see it now? So with this right now, what we want to calculate here is actually the attrition rate. Let us go back and understand the question again. The question says, does job satisfaction relate to attrition? So now we can decide to actually show just the total attrition that we have, which is this number, but calculating the rate matters a lot. So over here, this is how to calculate the attrition. To calculate the attrition right now, we have to actually put our equals here and get this number to divide this very number right in here. Then hit the enter key and you copy down. So make sure they are formatted. If I just double click on this right now, let's see what's happening. So here, something weird seems to happen. So this is actually a problem. So how do we solve this? Because you might not have this right in here. Let's see how we can turn this particular get pivot table feature off. So for the first time, we just want to go over to this part, click on your pivot table, go over here, click on design. I presume no, pivot table analyze, click over here, go over to this particular part options and uncheck the generate, get pivot table. So that is done. So if I come over here now, I can wipe this off. Let me reference this now. Now you can see what I have. So we now divide by this, and it will definitely work fine this time around. So can you see? Better. So if you have that issue, you have known how I solved it. It's just for you to go over to this particular pivot table. Then from there, you click over here, click over pivot table, make sure you click on here and make sure you uncheck this particular one. So this is exactly what we actually have. Then this can actually create our chart for us. Then we go over to insert. Then this is where we can actually add the chart we want to actually add. So if you're not good at selecting charts that will be actually best for what you want to create, so what you need to do, use the suggested one. So if you look at it, that's giving us a suggestion, and you see it now. So you might want to go with this particular one, and sometimes I love to go with a line chart. This is actually giving me something I want, then I just go ahead and accept it. So with this right now, I'm going to actually turn on my data label. So for that, the y-axis should be turned off while we actually turn off this title as well. Then the grid lines here, we just want to make sure we turn it off. So we select the line chart and we control 1. On control 1, we just make sure we go over to here, then click on marker, click on this particular marker option and put it on automatic. Can you see it now? This is what we have. So now we can turn on data label. So I just want to go back to my analysis here and don't want any decimal number to be right in it. So go over to home and we brush that off. So we have something like this. Control X, we go to our dashboard environment, we paste it down here. Now we'll move it to where we want to have it writing. So take your time to actually make sure it sits right. No fill and no border. So for the time being, we have just completed this particular part. So now, if we go back to the question again, where it says, does job satisfaction rate relate to attrition? Job satisfaction relate to attrition. So now, the job satisfaction score here is 1 and 5. So if 1 simply means people are satisfied, why are we having 20% of attrition? So now this is exactly what management can actually look at and start making decision ASAP and see what they can do under where they have score 1 and score 2 that actually has high attrition. That was why I use a line chart for you to see the trend. So the lowest score here, which is 5, to me, is having just 9% of attrition. The next one we have to actually work on is actually attrition rate by department. Let us understand the question from the management perspective here. It says, which department has the highest attrition rate? So I believe anybody can do this. Do you want to pause it? Let us change the color because we're going to achieve this right now. So go over here and copy the previous pivot table and paste it right in here. I don't always forget this because it actually helps my report back end to look very clean. Okay, once we have gotten this right now, I'm going to actually take off satisfaction and look for the department, which is this particular one right in here. Okay, so now we're going to be using both of them. So I'm going to take off this particular part right in here and make sure it's back to the main color. So this time around, we are looking forward to calculating the attrition rate per department. So what we want right now, I'm thinking of taking off this particular part here. So we have this. I think we have to bring back the attrition. We don't have to remove it. We are going to bring back the attrition right now. The attrition back, but not here, but here. Okay, so those are the current employees that we have. Those are the attrition level that we have. And now we have the grand total. We don't need to actually have the grand total here. So I'm going to remove the grand total right now. So once I've done that, I'm just going to reference this using an array. Just select this particular part and hit your enter key. You can see what I've done now. I've splitted it right in here. Now we calculate our attrition, which is something very, very easy to be calculated. To get our attrition calculated right now, we just have to calculate here attrition rate. This equals, so we're going to take this particular attrition that we have and we divide it by what? By this, right? So we hit the enter key and we just copy this down here. So with Control 1, we can quickly go ahead and format a percentage with no decimal number. Okay, what if there is any error due to filter? What do you want to have? So double click on it right now and do if error. So if error is looking for value and the value is this particular one I highlighted right now, then what we need to do is just to make sure we actually give it the comma. If there's any error, just give us 0. Close and hit the enter key. It doesn't change the value because now there is not any error. It will not actually, give you any effect. So we have just got this one done. So what you need to do right now, should there is any filter that's applied to your dashboard and sales does not have, values, you want sales to retain sales here and not to disappear and have 0 over here. What you can do right now is to right click and go over to field settings here. Now you need to understand how to use this particular part right in here. So for any item with no data, So show item with no data is what you have to click on. So what does that do? What does that actually do for you? That will definitely make sure sales operations, if they don't have any value under no and yes, will still show up. So make sure this particular part is always turned on. It's very, very important. So once you have done that, it is time for you to create our chart quickly, right? But there is something that is going to happen right now if I create my chart with this. So let me just show you what it is. So I'm going to create my chart. This is the chart I want to use. And quickly, I can decide to take off all the axes I don't want to actually have right in it. So right now, you can come over here. Okay, so we can actually go ahead and Control X, then come over here now and Control V right in here and paste. So once you paste and try to fit it into this particular container here, to me, I don't like the way it's going to look. It will look very small. But if you feel like you want to go with it like this, you can actually do that. So, but let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to take off everything single fill I have right in it. So click over this one here and pick up a particular color that will pop. And let's go over here and increase this. Okay. So for this particular axis, you want to change the color quickly. Let's go straight up to this particular part and click over this, and we have changed it. So this is exactly what we have if you want to have this. So if you look at it right now, it is not ranked. So what do we do to rank it? So it wasn't ranked because we actually referenced from here. So what should we have done? Let me say over here, if I just go ahead and do sort, large to smallest. Now this is ranked and it will still disorganize this. So we'll go back here right now. It is not still ranked the way it should be, but it's actually trackable to see which department actually has the highest attrition based on what the question is saying right in here. Which department has the highest attrition rate? Can you see it now? This is better. You don't have to actually even do something extraordinary. So what we can do right now is to make sure we turn on the data label right for it, and we just go over to data label and we bump it up to have this. Okay, let me show you another way you would have actually done this to make it better. Maybe you choose your own choice. So what I would have done if I want to do something different is just to make sure I'll just put AR here for attrition. I'm just going to reference this same one over here and copy it all the way down. So once I've done that, I'm going to reference this particular part here, then go over to insert and use the same exact chart. Then once I have done this right now, I'm going to just make sure I take off all the axes I don't want to actually have right in it with this particular one. So once I've done this right now, I'm going to actually click on this one and turn on data label for it. So once I've done that, I'm going to click over here and go over here, then click over label, then click over from cell, and I'm going to select from here. Can you see? Click on OK. So now we have this. This time around, I'm going to get this one off, and I'm going to go with this particular one. So can you see now? We can actually have this. So let me show you how you can actually use this. So once you have done this now, click over here and make sure you come back here and just go over here again. Go to this particular part and inside end or inside base. So inside base is fine. So once you have done that now, we just have to Control 1 again and make sure we close the gap. You do this. So now can you see now? So we overlap this. This is not actually something that you must use by all means, but I just want to show you how possible it is for you to still have something that can look better than what you have right in there. So can you see it now? This is exactly what you have. With the percentages, they have actually appeared so well for you. So what you can do next right now is just to make sure you move it. So once you start moving it, you start seeing this particular issue of collapsing the text for you. So you can actually retain this. So if you want to actually adjust this, click on the inside and actually adjust it from the inside. You get what I'm saying? Just aim this particular part and adjust it. You understand? So this can actually be done. Then you can resize it a little bit. Then Control X now, we can take it over here. This time around, we're going to move this one off from here and just make sure we try to see which one goes well. So if I paste this one in now, I have to control 1, then turn off every single thing. Then I have to control it from here. Then once I've done that, we just go straight up to this particular part and readjust it. And this looks good, but not very much. So I wouldn't advise you to use this one, but I'm just showing you how to create a chart that looks like this. In case you've seen this somewhere, this is how they got it created. Okay, we are going to return this and return it back to its position, which is over here. So this question has been answered successfully. So now we have to create this particular one that says attrition rate by salary band. So we have to understand the data. We have to locate where we have our salary grouped right in. So over here, can you see this particular part right now? So if you click over here, you can see this. It has already pre-calculated for you. You don't need to do that all by yourself right here. So it's something very swift and easy. Let's go ahead and copy this whole part. In fact, we're copying everything down to this particular bottom one here. Ctrl C to copy, and over here, Ctrl V to paste. Don't forget this particular one to keep your work at the back end very clean. And again, don't forget to subscribe if you have not. And like button is actually your friend. Just go click on it right now. Just click on it right now. Okay, over here, I'm going to just make sure I take off the department. Now, can you see it now? What do you see? That thing I told you right now is working. So what would have happened if I don't have the if error? Let me take off this and take off the if error I have right in here. Just this, and hit my enter key. This is what would have gotten. This particular div/0 is what would have gotten. But right now we're having 0% because we already have an if error applied to it. Okay, so now let us concern ourselves much about this particular part. Right now we're going to actually go over to salary band right in here. So we take off this particular part. We don't want it. So we just have to redo this particular part from here. So now, can you see it now? We don't need to keep this one. We can now create our chart with this. Can you see how easy and swift it is? So just go ahead and use this chart. I'm going to take off this and I will turn on the data label. Turn off everything you don't want from it. Turn off everything you don't want. And quickly we just have to some kind of go with this. So, I think I have turned something different off. So that is back. Chat title should be gone. Okay, this is what we want. Ctrl X to cut it. And over here, we can just bring it down. And let's do this. Can you see how easy this looks right now? Something very swift. Do you see this? Interesting. So what you can do right now is to make sure you remove the outline, the fill, and the outline should be removed. And that looks clean and blends with the cards you have it right on. Let us focus on this particular part right in here where it says top exit reasons, like why people are leaving. So how do we do that? We have to first of all go over here and try to find if we have any column that says exit. Yeah, here we go. We have exit date, we have exit reason. So if I click on it, we have lots of it right in here. So if you see blank, don't bother about it. Those are people who are still active in the organization. Or maybe if they're not active, the reason why they left was not actually specified. We have to go straight up to here right now. And quickly, I can actually create a margin, a block like this. So we just have to make sure we copy. Do I need to copy all of this? No. Okay, maybe. We just have to copy and paste this over here. So we come straight up to this particular pivot table and drop this particular one. And we go ahead and search for exit reason. We bring it down. So the exit reason is here. So all we have to do right now is to actually get this off. And over here, we're going to select, and we select from here and exclude this particular part where we have blank. I told you the blank we have seen previously before now, those are the people that are still existing in the organization, right? So over here, we just type in exit. Do I get the spelling right? Yeah, here we go. So now we just have to reference this particular part and we copy down. So don't forget that we have applied percentage to this one. Go over here and just break it. Click over here and say not specified. So now this is what we have, and this will actually create our chart. Can you see how swift and easy it is right now? So what I'm going to do is to come over here, right click and see sort largest to smallest. This is well sorted now. So we just have to go straight up to here, click on insert, and let's do this. So I'm thinking, should we change the chart to something different? Yes, of course. So how do you change a chart? Right click on it and just say change chart type. Then you come over here and select a different chart. Then we just go ahead and click on OK. So once you have done that, we click on this particular part, y-axis, Control 1, then we click over here, then we click on this, and you have something like this. So once you have done that, take off this and take off this, and click over here to take off the grid lines. Then you have something as beautiful as this. So Control X, go over to our dashboard environment. So we Control V, then we move it slightly to where we want to have it right in. So for the time being, I can actually go ahead and turn off my formula bar right now. So as we're doing this now, please do me a favor to subscribe if you have not done that. And as well, if you can actually help me share, just a thank you in the comment section and tell me which dashboard you want to see next. So this is not wide enough. I'm just going to do Control 1 and I'm just going to do something like this. Okay, beautiful. We have this. Okay, the next thing we have to do right now is just to click over here and turn on the data label. Straight up, we have it right in. I believe you know how to do this. If it says attrition rate by tenure group, so I believe you know how to get this done. Don't tell me you don't know how to actually achieve this particular part right in here, because it is very, very easy. Let me show you. Get back to your analysis and let us scroll to this particular end and we copy from here. So Ctrl C to copy. We take it all the way back to this particular part right in here. I'm going to paste it over here. And don't forget to actually create a margin for it to separate it from the previous one. So once you have done this right now, we just have to come over here and understand if we have any column here called tenure. Here we go. We have this particular column that is tenure group. So we just go straight up to this particular part and take off this very one. Then we start searching for that column we've just seen previously. We drag it over here. Sorry, in here. Now we click over here. We select this portion. We hit our enter key. Now we can take off this part and take off this particular part right in here. So here comes the chart we want to actually create. You get it right now. So we just go straight up to here and we go with this. And you see how easy it could be. So once we've gotten this now, we just have to go ahead and do Ctrl X to cut it away from here. Bring it over here, paste it down, reduce it to fit into where you want to keep it right in. Over here, stretch it to this end and bring it all the way down. So we have to clean up this chart to make sure it's better. So no title, no this, and this axis, I'm going to say no to it. Then click over here and let us turn on data label. Straight up, we have it. And the next thing now is just we to do Ctrl 1 and remove all of this. So can you see how this looks? So we are almost at the far end of the whole charts before we actually come back and actually fix all of those particular parts right in here that is left. So now we need to actually create this particular one, which is something very easy. And I'm going to show you how easy it could be. If you look at this right now, it says are employees working overtime more likely to leave? So we can't say yes and we can't say no until we actually find out with our data. So go over to the data part here and look at this particular column here that says overtime. This is the column we're going to use. Over to analysis, we just have to make sure we copy the previous pivot table we have actually used. So I'm going to go with this particular one here. Then over here, I'm going to paste in a pivot table copied. So once pasted, we just have to take off this particular part here and we bring in our overtime into it. So take off attrition, we don't want it for now. So bring overtime, where could it be? So here is our overtime. So we have our overtime right in here. So those are the employees under overtime. To make it make sense, let us do this. I'm going to say overtime. Over here, I'm going to type employees. So right in here, we're going to say yes, overtime. You get it right now. So then this one will be no overtime. So this will help you to actually get it right. So what we can do right now is just to reference this particular part here. So those are the employees that are having overtime, and this one does not have any overtime. So if we are trying to look at the question again, so over here, I'm going to highlight it in red. So I have bolded it right now. So it says, are employees working overtime more likely to leave? More likely to leave? That's the big question. So how do we answer this? The easiest way to answer it right now is just to actually make sure over here we are not showing this. Instead, we are going to show dividing this particular number by the sum of this whole number right in here. F4 key because I want to copy down. So we close and we just do this right here. Once we've done that, we just have to select this environment here and convert to percentage. So over here, I'm going to add 100, that is 100%. So I'm going to say full percentage. You see that right now. So what I want to do right now is to create a particular chart that will actually answer the question. I'm going to do this. You see, you can select all of those, go over to the top, go to insert, go over here, and I'll do this. Click on recommended chart. Once you've done that, click on this particular part here. Now click over here, then choose this one. Can you see now? So once you have done this right now, quickly, you just have to do Control 1. So with your Control 1, make sure you convert this particular one to 0. Then this one to 1. So which actually gives us 100%. From here to here, 100%. Now we can take off that axis. Take off this one, take off this one, strip the chart of everything, and the grid lines should be gone. So we'll bring back our Control 1 again. This time around, we click over here, we select this, and we make sure we have it full. So we overlap. So once we overlap, the main one we want to actually use is behind right now. So what do? We just right click and we go to select data. So click over here, that reveals the one I want to use. Can you see it now? Then click on OK. So what we have just used right here right now is the overtime, right? So with the overtime now, I want to click over here. Overtime. This is, yeah, I'm trying to check something. Let's go ahead and bring back our legend. So with our legend, this is the full percentage. This is the overtime. The overtime gets here because 60%. So try to understand that. So click over here and let's go to the color and choose to use a red for overtime. And over here, we select a very calm color, this color here, or for the time being, we can go with this particular color. So once we have done this right now, the next thing we're going to do is just to make sure we resize it. So we're going to readjust it when we get there. So Control C and Control V to paste. So just right click on this one, select and click on here, then click on edit. No, we don't need to do this one. Just click on this one, click on edit. We don't need this one either. What about this one? Click on edit. Okay, what is going on? We are clicking on the wrong thing. So we just have to make sure we aim this very bars here while we do that, while we're having that attitude. So we can select this environment. That is wrong. So I think we should have select, sorry, my bad. So we just go for this employee over here. Oh no, sorry, my bad. So right now we're switching this one. Delete what we have in here and give it up to this particular one. That's the only thing we have to change. That is the only thing we have to change. For every other thing, you don't need to just do the changes. Leave this particular one the way it is. Leave the one you have here the way it is, except if you just want to change it. Click over here and make sure you select this one. So just to make sure nobody's seeing that, so you can leave it. So with this particular one now, not over time, we just want to change the color to something greenish. So we paste it down here. So one after the other, we have to fix it. You know where every one of them will be. So I'm going to just make sure I pick up this particular one and move it slightly, then resize it. Keep it somewhere here. Take off every single fill and outline you have right on it. So you just keep it around here. You can widen it to make sure it gives you something much more better. So to make sure you have the same weight for this one, go over to the top ribbon, click on format, and let's see here. We're just going to use the height. The height here is, okay, height is 0.59, then 2.75, okay? Let's say over here, click on this and adjust it, bring it over here. So we select, this is going to be 2.75. So you might have something different. Just do what will match the size you have for both of them. So we just have to go over here and say no fill, no fill. So we just have to resize this. Okay, we have this right now. The next thing I'm going to have right in now is actually the values. So keep this over here and let us turn on, okay, to avoid turning on anything, we can use the previous one here. So Control D to duplicate, equals without turning on the data label. So now we go over here, we bring in for yes. This is the value for yes. I'm going to resize it and keep it around here. So duplicate it. Then keep this one around here. Then put an equal sign. Then come over here and grab the second one. So once we have done that now, we're going to click on this one now and turn on the data label for it. So once you have done that, click over here and Control 1. Then come over here and select this particular one. So we are going to select for no. So we make sure this one is selected. We come over here and we choose for no. This is it here. So click on OK. So do the same thing for this particular one here. And data label first. Click over here, then here, select. We choose yes. So here we go. So once you have done that now, the next thing you have to do is to Control 1 and make sure you push it inside. Can you see now? Click on this one and push it inside end. So with the inside end, the decimal number we have is affecting it. We just have to go back and see if we do have it. We don't have a decimal number. So why is wrong? You want to make sure everything shows up. So what if we just extend it? Would that give us the privilege? Oh, sorry, Control Z. It's my mistake, my bad. Let's go over here now. Click over here and make sure you turn off the value. That shows up everything right now. So turn off the value. So can you see it now? Better. In case you want to make sure it is popped a lot, So all you have to do is to select this particular one and go over here, you put it on bold. That makes the value to appear very well. So how about this? You are building an Excel dashboard that looks more like Power BI version. So here we go, we have to save this. So we have one more simple chart to go. And that will be, we're coming over here right now, and this is the question asked in here. Are lower paid employees living at a high rate? At a higher rate, are lower paid employees living at a higher rate? Big question. This is simple, it's not hard. We just have to come over here and we copy this one from here. We come over here, we actually just drop it here and we do the same exact thing we have been doing before now. We just do this. So once we have done that, we just have to go straight up to this particular part here and start working on this. So first of all, we just want to take off the overtime we have on it. So once we have done that, now we actually select the salary band right in here. So we have this, and we're going to bring in the attrition here. So here we bring in the attrition across the column here. You get it right now. So I want to turn on this particular part here, which is the grand total. So we just go straight up to here. That is it. So we have the grand total right in here. Okay, what else do we need to do? We have to create a table for it. And that table, I would love to create it beneath this one here. So the table right now will actually take this particular part. Okay, fine. Then next again is gonna be this very part here. Can you see it now? So over here, I'm going to type in, I'm thinking, yeah, active employees. So leavers, then attrition rate. So how do we calculate our attrition rate right in here? You can see it is something very simple. All we have to do is just to make sure we do this by this value here. Then hit your enter key and copy it down. Then Control 1, you go over to here, percentage. We just want decimal number. So we have this. We can actually format this quickly. So by going over here, click over here and choose how you want to format it. Right now, the highest value should actually be the one that carries red. So something like this looks perfectly okay. You can decide to actually come up with your own formatting. Depends on what you really want. But for now, I think I want to go with something like this. One thing is still missing, which is over here. I'm thinking salary band, and over here, the attrition we are using now. I'm thinking of something. All right, now what is left? The next thing we have to do right now is just to make sure we select this particular part here. Watch me, please, from this particular corner, from those numbers here, select them and open it up. Not too much. Just open it up a little bit. Okay? So from the top here, select the 4 columns. Open it up like this. So we might come back here and adjust things, but for now, we're going to go with this. So at the header here, we want to make sure we do give it the color. Let's go over to here and select a dark color. Not too dark, not too light. So we now select this environment here. We Control C to copy. We come over here now. We right click on a blank space and we just come over here and we paste. So we'll bring this over here. So if you look at it right now, we have a lot of space here and lots of space at the bottom. So we just have to go all the way back here and just highlight this same portion. Just bring it down a bit. Okay, I think this will be pretty much. I'm gonna just reduce it. Okay, let's try this. And this time around, I want to make sure this one here, the value is in the middle. Let's go straight up to home, and here we do this. Then this particular part here, I'll go to the top ribbon. I'll make sure is like this. So I can just make this one this way. So we can copy again. We just delete this one from here. Every single time you make any changes, make sure you copy a new one, please. So here we go, almost. So the gap we need to fill now is this particular part. So we just have to come back here and I'll do it for this particular one. So we just copy it again. We just have to select and copy this again. Once copied, we go back here, delete this one, and just make sure you bring in another one. So now, solid, we have something we want. Centralize it, the ISO. So we have all of this. Okay, quickly, I'm going to give you an assignment. Yeah, an assignment. But before that assignment comes, we want to actually create, an insight for our dashboard, which is very important because the management actually talked about it. Like they want to see, something that they can look at and make decision with. So before then, let us agree on the color we want to actually use for our dashboard, which is very important. So for every single chart here, I want to change the color to match this very color right in here. So how do you do it? You copy the color code, which is this is already here. If you don't have it, just make sure you go ahead and copy it like this. So once copied right now, you just have to be on the right spot, which is click over here. And now you select this particular color. So select this and choose this color. Select this and choose this very color from here. I think that is almost there. So for this particular one, this one over here, we just have to make sure we select and choose to use the same color. So it doesn't pop out the way I like it. So go ahead and mix your color by coming over here and select a lighter version of it. So here we go. We have it more brighter from the background that we have it right on. So we have done something like this. The next thing now is to actually have our insight. So this is where Claude actually comes in. If you don't know how Claude works, Claude is already inside Microsoft Excel. If you go to home, you can see over here, we have Claude. Go ahead and actually launch it. But right now, you must actually be a subscriber to Claude Premium before you can actually use this feature here. So Claude can see our dashboard. Every single thing we have done right in here now, Claude has eye to see everything we have done. So to make it easy for me, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. So once the screenshot is taken, I'm going to open up Claude. So first of all, before I paste in my screenshot, I'm going to actually record my prompt. I want you to go into the dashboard and look at all the visuals I have created and go to the analysis sheet where I actually create all my calculations and look at what I've done there and create for me the, so delete and take it again. Delete and from me start it. I want you to go into the dashboard I have created, look at all the visuals and go into the analysis and look at all the analysis I have actually created to actually have the dashboard created. Then from there, look at the screenshot I've shared with you. That is the exact dashboard and give me a brief insight and recommendation. Not too huge, but something very brief, a recommendation that the management can actually look at and make smart decision. So once you've done this, you paste in the screenshot, allow it to load first. If it is still blinking like this, don't hit the enter key yet. So now it's no more blinking, so it's okay, you can run this. So let me take you over to this particular part right in here. If you look at this particular part, we have solved this and as well this one, I'm going to turn them into red. So you see this particular part right in here, it says what should management do first? So, which means we have to convert analysis into a practical recommendation. That is what it wants. So right now, it is going to actually help us to create it. Okay, before we have it created 100%, your assignment is going over to here. Make sure you learn, I think you have learned a lot from me. Just accept it. Then make sure you actually create top reason why people left, and average income, then average, that is the overtime KPI over here, overtime, and active employee. So they're going to be actually right here. Gonna fix them. Claude is very powerful when you mix it up with Microsoft Excel, but I just didn't want to use Claude to create all of those things we have created because there are people that cannot actually subscribe to Claude and they still need to actually learn Excel. But I still think I'm more smarter than Claude when it comes to using Excel, like design reports and dashboard. But I'll be smarter if I combine Claude with my own human knowledge. Over here, what you can see is Claude helping us to actually create what we wanted. So Claude actually took off this particular card we have right in here, deleted it, and just created a blank space to actually have the insight right in for us. Let me take you over to analysis. Over here, you can see Claude, first of all, analyze the data. It's a dynamic insight. All figures below recalculates from the HR table. So it actually went ahead and create all of these particular tables right in here. So down here, it went ahead and create all of the insight we can now see right on our dashboard environment. That is what Claude can actually do. Okay, now your other assignment is, please go ahead and actually add slicer to this particular report. It's very important. Don't forget to do that. So to complete the whole thing, add a slicer to this particular report. You already have something very massive from me and you have learned a lot. Just tell me thank you in the comment section and tell me what other video would you like to watch, Power BI or Microsoft Excel. See you in my next videos.